I can't believe it took me so long to finally do what I've said, to do my first downwinder. Almost more than 1 year ago I took a video saying that I will start learning downwinding. I bought a downwind board and I tried flat water paddle ups, and you know, it didn't went too well. And so the last half year I wasn't too much on the water, I was pumping for a little bit but not too much. And now I had time, we just came back from the Philippines from an awesome kitesurf trip, and there was a storm. We call it Föhn storm in Switzerland, and it was supposed to be very strong on Lake Uri, and so I thought I should do it. I should do my first downwinder, and this is how it went. I thought I would film everything and took this thing, and I can usually put it around my waist and then add the Insta360 on it, and somehow like the screws got really loose, so I almost lost the camera in the water, and that's why I don't have way more footage. So the forecast was good. What you need to know about the Föhn storm: it's like a strong system that is a very warm wind, and it has a lot of gusts, so it's like not stable at all. And it was supposed to be like 25 knots up to 40 knots in the gusts. So I don't have a small wing, I didn't want to go wing foiling. I thought I will need to go with my paddle and just try to do a downwinder. So the Föhn storm is always, a wind is coming from the south of the Alps and it's going north, and so it's perfect for Lake Uri. In summer you can do the opposite. You have like a wind that is coming from the north going to the south, and it's kind of thermal, so it's a really nice wind. But in like winter times you have those storm systems, and that's a really strong wind. So I thought I would have enough like waves, like chop on the water, to go downwinding. So I wanted to start precisely at Gruonbach. That's a local spot where you can go wing foiling really well, but it's a bit protected from like the mountains. And I wanted to go there because I needed to park the car there, and then I would take the train back to get the car. And you can't really do this on the other side of the lake. It's called Isletten. It's a very nice spot for this Föhn storm, and also for kiting and wing foiling, but it's much difficult, or it's way more difficult to reach it via like public transport. So the only way that you can kind of do it is either in the very end of the lake in Fluelen, but then you don't have waves yet, I guess, because the wind needs to form them over like at least some kilometers. So the first easy spot with public transport is, I think, Gruonbach, but you can prove me wrong if you did it already. I didn't find any information about it on the internet. I know that a few people, I think, did it, but I didn't find too much on the internet. And so my idea was to either go to Sisikon, or if it's really running well, I could go to Brunnen and then take the train back to get back to the car. So I didn't find anybody to join me, so I went alone. I shared the location with my wife and said, if I'm too close at like the rocks, the cliffs, then you need to call somebody. So be safe, know what you're doing, and if you're going, then maybe share your location with somebody, because in those winds it's quite rough on the water. Advantage of the Gruonbach, it's like protected, so there's not so much wind and swell at that place, so you can paddle and warm up a bit. And my idea was to go more to the middle of the ocean, because I was a bit afraid to collide with the rocks in front of me. I didn't know how fast I would be pushed into them. So I was trying in the beginning to go a bit more in the middle, and then there was a ferry and later a cargo ship, and it was directly coming towards me, so I wasn't sure which side to go, and so I went the kind of the right direction. It was a forecast that said like southwest, but the starting point in Gruonbach, it's like a southeast, and I can show you here. It's like a bit more protected, but the wind direction is kind of changed, and I think it has to do with the local mountains really accelerating the wind there. And so you have like kind of waves that are pushed against the rocks. They are like the cliffs, and then they are like kind of like a mirror reflected back. So at the first part it was super rough. It was really choppy. I didn't have like kind of one swell, but it felt like I had two swells going like diagonal. Kind of my main job was like trying to stay on the board, and I fell like almost every time. I took a 7.0 board with me. So it's kind of small, but a lot of people say if you're going downwinding on a lake, you need more like a smaller board, because the waves are not really big and they're really compact to each other. You don't have a lot of distance between each wave. And so a really long board would be like kind of your like catching the next wave and the wave behind you with all the same board. So that's why I bought like a smaller board. And so this really choppy water was really difficult. I didn't really foil it well, but it was insane. I tried to like paddle really hard, and when a gust is coming with 40 knots, it's like crazy pushing you, and it's so much easier to get up. So I got up quite easily at one point where I didn't fall in the water before. It's much easier to get up. Kind of you're losing a lot of stability, but you're gaining so much speed when the wave is coming or when the gust is really pushing you kind of as a sail. Then it's like much easier if you have the balance to do it. Then I was kind of afraid because I noticed that the wind is coming more in the east and going to the west. So I was a bit scared to get to the other side of the lake too easily, because I still wanted to have the option to go right to Sisikon. And I proved right, because I was really exhausted really early. I think downwinding is like, if you do it at least for the first time, it's really exhausting, really demanding to stay on the board and then to paddle really hard. And then when you're up on the foil, to foil, climbing back on the board when you're falling into the water. That requires a lot of energy. I wasn't really fit, didn't do like much foiling. I had a cold, I don't know how much it affected me. So that's why I tried to keep to the right, and something interesting happened at the second part. And that was when I like got around the cliffs, it was really clean now. Like the waves were not that choppy. You didn't have like kind of the two swells going in different directions, but you had like one swell. It was not that strong anymore, and you needed to wait for the gust because it was a bit wind protected. But it was much cleaner to start, and so I had my best like foiling moment at that part. I didn't really fly a lot. It was more like paddling, and I knew it before because I thought like this will be like more a survival and experience thing and not so much a foiling, flying, fun experience. But like I managed, I think, to get on the foil at least like 2 or 3 times and to like foil a little bit before like being pushed back into the water. So it's like difficult to time how fast you paddle, how fast the wave is going. The waves are going quite slow, so if you paddle too fast, kind of you're paddling already, but the wave is not coming. So you have to kind of start late to not paddle like too much away from the waves, because they're not that small. I took a gigantic wing because I thought I'm bad and I need like a lot of lift. I think it was great because I could start easily, but I think with a really big wingspan it gets like choppy in the water, and like the wing is really reacting like slowly. The reaction is coming really late, and then you're kind of still fighting like the tilting, and you need like kind of the counter force. So it's probably better to take a bit smaller front wing. Like the last section, I wasn't really like, I didn't have a lot of strength and cardio anymore, so I basically like did like a paddling thing and managed to go out at Sisikon, and then I missed the train, so I had to walk back, but it's not too bad. It took me 1 hour to walk back, and the train is like the next train would have been 1 hour. So all in all, this was kind of my experience. I don't know if you did a downwinder here. What I noticed is it's very different kind of where the wind is and where the waves are on the lake. It's not like that the waves are always everywhere on the lake with this storm system. But like you had parts, the middle section and the section closer to Isleten, where you had strong waves and strong wind and more consistent wind. And the right direction that I took had like not so many waves anymore. So it was like more difficult to start. It was a lot of time, much calmer. So you missed kind of the bumps to start going. So I guess if I go next time, I would take more time. I was a bit short on time, so that's why I went out on Sisikon. And then I guess you should go more in the middle or maybe closer to the west side of it. Because I guess as you can see on the picture, I tried to take it later, like the waves are bigger and the wind is stronger on that side. One more thing, you may be asking how much time does it take? If you're a good foiler, then it's much shorter, but I was mostly paddling and falling into the water. So it took me like 1 hour and 23 minutes to go from Gruonbach to Sisikon. And it's kind of a distance of 5 kilometers. So I guess if you're not that fast, and if you're falling a lot of times, you will take more time. But then if you're getting better, I guess the time will get shorter and shorter. And I guess to Brunnen, it's kind of the same distance, so it's about 10 kilometers. So decide for yourself how much energy you have and how experienced you are, how far you're going, and then also be aware of the ships. You have ferries that have a course, and so you have to kind of be aware where they are going. You have to be visible in a black wetsuit. Like if you're next to your board, it's hard for them to see you. And so maybe the next time I will take like something like colorful with me to be more visible. And then there's like sometimes a few cargo ships going straight down the lake, and the ferries are usually crossing the lake, so you have to watch out for them. That's for some more additional information. So maybe next time you're joining me on this Downwinder, that would be awesome. So let's wait for the next storm to come through, and I will probably have a better experience, and I will take you with me as well. Maybe you ask why it took me so long to do a Downwinder. First, like I wanted to learn the flat water paddle up to be more experienced, and I kind of lost my motivation on that. But then I did some downwinders with my kite in the Philippines, and it was so much fun to ride the waves. So I thought like, man, I really need to learn downwinding with a foil in Switzerland. To be able to go like several times a year would be so much fun to like just ride the waves and have fun. And if it's fun with a kite, I guess it's way more fun with a foil. And so I thought I need to go out and need to try my first downwinder no matter what. This is scary stuff, for me at least, to go out in a storm on a lake alone, but if you never learn, if you never try, you will never be able to do it. So let's stay on the track, learn it, and at some point I think we will be able to fly and foil downwind sessions on this lake. So all in all, this was my experience. It wasn't too much foiling, as you know, but I would do it totally again, and I'm already looking forward to the next storm system coming, because I think if you manage and learn and get better at downwinding, this lake will be a lot of fun. And you have like several storms in like autumn, winter and spring that should have enough swell. It's not easy, but I think it's manageable. And the last maybe comment, I think you need a paddle and not a Parawing. I'm probably by a Parawing or Lowkite as well from Gong. But since the gusts are so heavy and so strong, kind of 40 knots when the normal wind is like kind of between 20, 25, maybe 30. Everybody is talking about, if you listen to podcasts like Matt on Foil, for example, the range of like the Lowkites and the Parawings, it's much smaller than with a wing that you're having from wing foiling. So I think a wind system with crazy strong gusts will get like very exhausting to do a Lowkite or like a Parawing session. But I will probably buy one and try in summer downwind sessions with kind of the normal thermal wind, which is really consistent. And I will also probably buy like a new front wing or two new front wings, and haven't decided yet, but one maybe for pump foiling and the other one maybe more for downwinders. I will see and let you know, and then maybe do some more test videos to come. So all in all, maybe you have done it already, you can help me and give some more tips, or you also want to join and you have questions, feel free to comment and write and ask me. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching and have a great day. May the foil be with you always.